Rolling. Hey everyone, welcome back to the M&R show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Malcolm.
And today you see we have our special guest, Mr. Mont back in the building.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yes. And I mean, I think that's a perfect way to get into our first topic. I mean, we got some juicy topics today, but speaking about somebody being back, Malcolm, what does the Cam signing mean for the Carolina Panthers?
That the Cam signing, what it means to the Carolina Panthers is more to the fact that Carolina still think that they have a chance to make it to the playoffs. They have built their team up defensively. Their team looks a lot better defensively when they added a guy like Stephon Gilmore and stuff like that. And their offense, when you got Christian McCaffrey back, you still got receivers in Roby Anderson and DJ Moore. Yes. They think they still have a chance in this NFC, which is fine because if you look at the bottom, and it's not looking good at the bottom. So I think that's the only reason why Cam is getting signed right now for the Panthers. I think that if, let's say, the Panthers were 3-6 or 2-7, they won't be signing Cam. They would have kept PJ Walker as a starting quarterback and would have went where PJ Walker would have took him, which probably wouldn't have been nowhere. So I think that's the only reason. I know we all get hyped up all about this Cam Newton signing and how good it was, which is a good pickup. But at the end of the day, the reason that this happened is just for them to reach the playoffs. I don't think anything higher than that.
Yeah, I agree with Malcolm. I think it's for the playoffs. I mean, because they're already, I think, basically going to make it, or they're really close to making it right now. They're the last seed. But to be honest, NFC, like, no one is ruled out except for the Detroit Lions. Now they're done. They're the only team in the NFC that's literally I think they're almost eliminated almost. But even then, it's the NFC. We don't know what's going to happen, but I think we do know what's going to happen. But anyway, so with Cam, I mean, he looked good in his little spot plays. I mean, he was on red zone duty. I mean, he basically trucked the DN to get into the end zone. I mean, what else would we expect? I mean, he led the league in rushing touchdowns last year, didn't even play every game. I mean, this is what Cam does. I mean, we see what him and McCaffrey do. McCaffrey was more hyped for Cam than Cam for his own touchdown. We saw how hyped Cam was. So I think it's a good fit. I mean, Matt Rhule runs a college offense. Joe Brady is to me, after Kellen Moore, should be the next head coach in the NFL. That's the guy that you should be looking at. So we know he can call plays. I think it's a good fit. Now I guess we see what they get, like the second maybe wild card seed. Right now they're like the third. I guess we'll see what happens. I still think they go in the first round regardless. Now, but I mean, to their standard, that's not the worst thing in the world. And their defense has literally dominated against every quarterback that they've played that wasn't top 8. So I think they'll be able to win some games. And I think Cam's going to help them win some games. Come on.
Yeah, me personally, I love it. I want to start by saying, you guys know I'm a PR guy. So the way that the Panthers organization brought him back in was perfect. They were so humble. And just thinking about how the past 2 years been, where you get rid of Cam and you think you're going to do better. You try 2 quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. Neither panned out. You bring in Cam to maybe finish off the season. Like you guys said, they're in the 7th seed right now. They can still compete for the playoffs. And when you look at the defensive side, Stephon Gilmore, Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Shaq Thompson, Jeremy Chin, they're loaded on defense. They have a defense that can help carry them if they get the quarterback situation under control. To a guy like Cam that can game manage, he can do things like he did in his first game, getting the red zone, run power. You know what I mean? The way that they brought him in this game built a lot of momentum early against the Cardinals. It was a big reason why they won. So I'm a big fan of this Cam signing. It's good to see him back in the league.
Yeah, I was about to say, another thing I like about the Cam signing is the fact that we have to look at when you run the football a lot and you know how to manage games, it's way better for your defense. And I think that's one thing they have to understand. You got a guy like Cam Newton who can be able to control the offense, be able to run the football. It'll be perfect for the opportunity. Sam Darnold, past couple weeks, before you got injured, he was throwing picks. He was just not playing good football lately. And I think that's something that Matt Rhule understand. But let's understand this for once, though. they were in a position where they had to rebuild, and having a guy like Cam Newton who's over 30 years old, bring him in there, that's something that's not ideal for a rebuilding team. So that's the reason why they had to let Cam Newton go and bring guys as in, Sam Darnold in, because he was a lot younger and they felt like they can be able to build off that because he's a younger quarterback. So let's not, with everybody talking, well, they shouldn't let him go. There was a reason why Carolina let him go, and that was a good reason, because at the end of the day, you have to build. But you feel like you have a playoff team now, which you didn't think at the beginning of the season. You bring a guy like Cam Newton, I think that running the football, being able to control the game, is actually perfect for this defense right now, which is better than expected.
Yeah, I know I speak for the fellow Panthers fans that watch this podcast, and the Panthers claim they're rebuilding, but you pass on Justin Fields. So I don't want to hear about they let Cam Newton go for all this. You could have drafted Justin Fields, bro. They passed on him for Sam Darnold, and they picked up his option. That sounds very fireable to me. Now, luckily for GM, he's done a very good job on the other side of the ball. It's just too much talent on one side, so he's probably unfireable because he's too much young talent. But that is a really bad decision. I always say I don't care if you sign Lawrence Taylor. If it's Rex Grossman at the quarterback position, all that you've done does not matter. So you messed up the key thing. Like, that's 70% of your pie. Now he's done amazing with that 30%, but that one decision might get him and Matt Rule might be right back to college. Now, but you never know. I mean, someone could literally get hurt in the NFC. Next thing you know, the Panthers win a wild card game. It only takes an injury. We saw last year. We remember the Carson Palmer Cardinals when Carson Palmer goes down like week 16. All it takes is like an injury, bro. So I'm not going to say that they can't win a playoff game, but like I give it like very small chance. Now, I would love to see though Cam embarrass all the teams that didn't sign him. We don't need to name the teams, but a lot of teams could have signed Cam Newton, and he could be a starting QB, and I think they would have a better chance. So my thing is just watching him embarrass teams week after week. That's all I care about personally.
I kind of want to acknowledge something both of you guys said.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. If we were just gonna waste 2 years just to get back to Cam, it sounded like we should have just kept Cam. And to be honest, Cam wasn't playing bad that year before they let him go. He just got hurt, and we didn't let him get a chance to go back to natural form. Now, I do agree that this is not kind of ideal to go on for the future, but this is not going to be a quarterback-heavy draft. There's not many bridge quarterbacks out that they're going to be able to obtain because they have given up so much draft capital. So it makes sense for them to get Cam in now and prepare him to be the bridge next year and see what they got. Now, to Ron's standing, I understand, yes, passing on Justin Fields is kind of crazy, but they wouldn't be ready anyway. And for the guy that they got, J.C. Horn is still going to be a pretty good player. We just haven't seen him. Imagine if J.C. Horn was in on this defense right now.
Yeah, I mean, with Malc, I think was that Malcolm's, was that the number one corner, or maybe it was number two for both of us. But I mean, again, he's done a hell of a job on the defense, man. I don't want to take that again because I mean, and Derrick Brown was like, I was very upset that we didn't get him. So they've done a crazy job on the other side of the ball. But God, like it's just that one position. Even DJ Moore was a steal. If y'all remember, I think he was like what, 25th pick. So like he's done a great job. It's just you mess up that. You just mess up that key position, man. It's crazy. It's so telling. But anyway, so we don't spend too much time on this topic. I mean, I know, Mont, you said you were very interested in this topic. So who should we be more worried about right now? Now, let's think about this, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we have the Kansas City Chiefs, the two Super Bowl teams from last year. Mont, who should we be more worried about?
Well, I'm going to start off by acknowledging that in previous shows of the MNR show, I have been stating that let's not worry about the Chiefs. We're going to see them have a bounce back game. But that does not stop them from being my most worried team to worry about. I believe the Bucs will be fine. The Washington just kind of caught them off guard. They got those 2 turnovers early that they could not get ahead of, and it just kept them behind all game. They're gonna move on from this loss. I think this is just something that's going to wake them up, and you kind of don't want to wake up Tom Brady. If he's sleeping, let him sleep. Now, back to the Chiefs. I'm still worried about the Chiefs, although Patrick Mahomes came out. He threw for 5 touchdowns. He threw 50 passes. He threw an amazing cross-body pass that literally only he can do and get away with. the reason I'm still worried about them is still the defense. I don't think their defense is caught up to their offense yet, even though the offense is still struggling. So we have to see the offense get back on track and see the defense get back on track. And I just don't think that's something that they're going to be able to put together before the playoffs. I'm still going to take them to be a deep threat in the playoffs. But right now, the way that the AFC is looking to work out, is going to be hard for them to, if they don't get that first spot in their division, it's going to be hard for them to get one of those wild card spots. So I'm still worried about the Chiefs. Bucks going to be fine.
Yeah, somehow the Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, of today are somehow leading their division today. After all that they went through, right now, they're number one in the division. And somehow the Chargers, obviously, have the last wild card spot in the AFC. So the AFC basically turned from like this weird conference, like the NFC being good, but like extremely top heavy. I think Mont, you've kind of said that before though, right? So it's just like the AFC is going to be a dogfight to get to the Super Bowl because the 7 teams are all kind of the same level of team. If we're being honest, everyone got at least like 1 or 2 flaws. No one's perfect. So, but on that note, I am more worried about the Bucks though. I just don't like the losses they've had. Now, do I think am I still gonna pick them to go to the Super Bowl? We'll see about that because I mean it is only November, but the DBs are injured. They've looked kind of bad. Tony Winfield looks like he's taking a slight step back. Now the D line their run defense is still, I mean, it's still what it is. I mean, you have Dominic Sue, you have Vita Vea. You can't run the ball in this team. But that's getting the corners targeted a lot, and it's been kind of hurting them. Now, so they're a difficult team to evaluate because they're also hurt. But so is every team, right? But they've just had too many bad losses, and Brady's done too many just bad games. But it's like long term, am I nervous about Brady in the playoffs? No, I don't care if he throws 17 picks in the regular season. Like it's just, but you can't lose to Trevor Siemian. You just can't do this. Then you lose to Trevor Siemian and Taylor Heineke. I'm probably off the top of my head, those are like the 28th and below quarterbacks. Like they're that low on the tier of starting QBs right now. So you're losing to bottom 5 guys, and you just can't do that. But at the same time, this is what Brady does. He loses to Eli Manning, but he doesn't lose to Peyton Manning. I guess it's his career in a nutshell. I mean, literally though, let's think about it. He loses to Nick Foles, but you beat Russell Wilson. Like this is literally Brady's. You beat Patrick Mahomes, you beat Russell Wilson, but you lose to Eli Manning, you lose to Nick Foles. You lose to Mark Sanchez in the playoffs. Like this is literally Tom Brady's career. So maybe it's like he needs to wake himself up in that way. But I mean, we all see who he plays in the NFC. It won't be no bottom 5 guys. So I think he'll be woken up by the playoffs. But I'm still nervous because they need to get a top seed so they don't have to just go through the road to get to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I still don't really have any, worries about Tom Brady. Just like Mont said, I think it was just a game that the Washington team just needed it more. Like they just needed it more, to be honest. If you think about it, and they were still out of a couple of receivers for Tampa Bay too. So I just think that I really want to count that game. I think next game, if they lose again, then we should start worrying. But right now, I should not count it. One thing I need to worry about is the Chiefs. We look at the AFC. AFC. You just talked about it. You just said the AFC looked like everybody's equal. The Chiefs should have been the one to behold, the top team in the AFC right now. There should be no excuses. But now that the Chiefs have gotten pushed down to other people's level, and now that they are at a level with everything else, that's a reason for concern. Because before the season started, we did not think that at all. We thought that it was going to be either the Chiefs or the Bills coming out there. But we knew that if Patrick Mahomes need to get stuff done, he's going to get that done. But after this game, like we've seen these past couple of games when the Chiefs play, other than the Raiders game, we've seen that they have done bracketed coverages, and they're forcing, Patrick Mahomes just to go underneath, and he's not looking underneath. He's trying to find somebody, he's trying to find the big play. And I think that's been a problem over and over again, which result in, poor protection and different things that have been going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. Their defense is still not good. And the fact that they have stooped to the level of every other team, we don't know who's going to be coming out the AFC, and that's going to be a problem. And that's why we should be worried about the Chiefs, because that shouldn't have been a problem coming into the season. So I think that's what we need to worry about. The Chiefs is the one we need to worry about, not Tom Brady, the Bucs. You're talking about the GOAT. The GOAT gonna do what the GOAT has to do. We never have to worry about the GOAT, and they're 6-3. Not the same with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think go ahead, man.
That GOAT always need a little help though. That's what I'm gonna get out there. But at the same time, yeah, I'm along with Malcolm. The way the AFC looking, I think a lot of teams, even if the Chiefs have a home field advantage, I think a lot of teams are gonna come into Arrowhead with their chest poked out and say, we got the blueprint. You know what I mean? We've seen teams do it all year. Teams gonna be ready for them. So you can go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I was about to just say, I mean, just fun facts about the Chiefs. I mean, Tom Brady hasn't lost. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I don't think has lost anyone in the playoffs, but Brady has it. And Brady's not in that conference anymore. So, I mean, that's a fun fact, too. They have the best offensive line in the AFC, which, I mean, besides like the Colts, but I don't think they'll probably put the Colts. The Colts aren't in the playoff picture. So, they have the best line. So, using the playoffs, your offense and defensive line matter a lot. It's a trenches type of game, so I guess they have that to lean on. But the run game has been average at best, really below average. So I'm very excited to see when Clyde Edwards-Helaire, their running back draft pick, what can he do with Williams? Because they should be decent. Like, they're not trash running backs. So I don't go ahead, Mom.
No, I was about to say. So you said they're the best offensive line in AFC based on PFF rankings, right?
No. I was saying in general, like they've been really good. Like pass blocking, I think they've been like elite personally.
But I mean, they've been good pass blocking. But the fact is that Patrick Mahomes has a lot of QB sacks. You know, we have like regular sacks.
That's him,
you know?
though. I don't want to blame him, but it's like Russell Wilson too. Like they be kind of making their offensive line look worse. Like because they do too much. It's like the Carson Wentz. I remember when those Carson Wentz. When you hold the ball for that long, you're making your O-line look worse. That's why Brady doesn't get sacked. Brady is a 5-flat runner. He doesn't get sacked. Doesn't matter. Their left tackle, Donovan Smith, is not that good. But you don't ever see Brady getting strip sacked from the left side. Why? Because he knows where his weak spot is at. So Mahomes got to know that their weak spot is the right tackle. He keeps rolling out right. That's not the line. That's him.
Yeah, and then taking advantage of the open field advantage, like in front of you, like the open passes, the quick passes, like he needs to start understanding that more.
Sure.
I think that him trying to get the big play, trying to get Tyreek Hill down the field or anybody else down the field, that's been a problem too. But if he just do a quick pass, have somebody on the flat, running back on the flat, boom, he can get the easy yards. I think that he has to start understanding that. And when he starts understanding that, that team could be a lot better.
Yeah. Now, before we end this episode, I want just a quick synopsis of just Odell Beckham to the Los Angeles Rams. Mont, what do you think about the situation?
At first, I was thinking the situation. Well, when I first got the news, I was thinking, okay, yeah, 3-headed monster receiver. But quickly, we found out Robert Woods tore his ACL that same day. So it's kind of like he's not a fill-in, but your job is to fill in. Robert Woods is not no-name receiver by any stretch. His production is high, so
sure.
A player like Odell Beckham Jr. should be able to step in and fill in his production, and then some if he is the player that we think he should be. So I don't think it sways the Rams' chances further anymore, but it's a good fill-in for the rest of the season, being that Robert Woods is there.
Welcome.
Hey, this is Super Bowl buzz, man. Super Bowl buzz. Super Bowl buzz. That's what I have to say. You bring in a guy like Odell, you bring a guy like Von Miller, it's a Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, like Malcolm said, they got to win this year. I mean, the money, first, whoever they're paying over there, you deserve a raise, young man or young woman, because, God, they're doing a hell of a job. I mean, whoever's the capologist over there is doing great, but it can't happen forever unless they just know something that us three just don't know. So, Super Bowl or bust. Hopefully he does well. Well, not too well, but hopefully he does decent enough to lose in the, at least the playoffs. So, but anyway, make sure you all are subscribing. The live chat. Again, we see you. We love the live chat. Keep talking live chat and send this to your friends. Malcolm.
Yeah, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Malc and Ron Show. We have a lot of takes, a lot of different things, polls. We got our fantasy league standings up too, so make sure y'all look at that every week because Malcolm's up there at number 1. But we're gonna talk about that for another day. But thank y'all guys for coming out. Thank you, Mont, for coming out. I'll see y'all later though.
All right.